Let's get back to the advisory now and discuss new retirement research, confidence levels and what Aussies need to feel comfortable heading into retirement. Jennifer McSpadden from Brighter Super joins me now. Jennifer, great to see you. Thanks for joining us on AusBiz. So you have undergone this survey of more than 3,600 Australians and their attitudes to preparing for retirement. What were some of the major findings here?
Hi, Julia. Yeah, look, it's a really great piece of research. It is one of the longest running pieces of research around retirement income in Australia. It's the Brighter Super Investment Trends Retirement Income Report that was actually launched in November last year for 2025. And one of the things for watchers is that if they would like to know more information, the full report is actually available on the Brighter Super website at brightersuper.com.au. But the major findings from the report really does point to the fact that people who start planning for retirement early are so much better prepared to actually retire in comfort. And what we found was that around 3/4 of people who started planning before the age of 60 actually say that they have retired in comfort, while 44% of people who left it until age 60 are retiring in comfort, and only 16% of people who actually didn't make any plans at all say that they're living comfortably in retirement. So what we're really learning is that early planning makes a huge difference. People are more likely to take up advice earlier. They are more likely to take good, solid actions to set themselves up for success, and they are so much better set up.
So what does comfort in retirement look like? What do you mean by that, Jennifer?
So comfort in retirement, it's actually something that is different for everybody. And so certainly money can make a big difference to people, your actual balance, your account balance and your superannuation. But also it really does depend on what you want to do with your life in retirement. There needs to be a bit of dreaming and scheming done by people before they retire, so they actually know what it is that they'd like to be doing while they're living in these wonderful years. They might like to travel. I mean, who doesn't? They might like to do some work in their community, spend time with family and friends. But they also need to imagine, well, how long will I actually be spending in retirement? And with people and our life expectancies increasing in Australia, some people will be living up to 100. People could be living up to 30 years in retirement. And so that's quite a long time. So when you think about comfort, it is about having enough money for the basics, but also perhaps having something discretionary spending, which I think is really important for people too.
Absolutely.
But no magic number.
And, you know, a lot of it is being really involved in your superannuation. You talk about those that are retiring comfortably looking before they're 60. I mean, how early is too early? Should people be, you know, even salary sacrificing and closely monitoring their super even in their 20s, 30s, 40s?
For sure. And look, it is important to start early. I think the research definitely showed that the earlier you start, the better off you will be. And it doesn't have to be a big effort. You know, I mean, all you need to do perhaps is log into your superannuation fund and have a look at your account balance, have a look at how your investments have performed. We actually had a really good year last year, and it's quite exciting really to be able to look at how your superannuation and your savings have grown. And that can make you curious and also courageous to actually take the next step, which can be as simple as going to a webinar or a seminar, playing with some tools and calculators. A lot of good funds have that, as does ASIC Money Smart's website.
Yeah, there's so many great tools out there. I've even had advisors tell me, look at ChatGPT as well. So how do people get some of this knowledge and guidance? I mean, I guess going to some of these tools is a start.
It is a start, definitely. It can help you understand, again, you know, some of the key questions that people ask is how much will I actually need and what will I have by the time I retire? So a lot of funds will have tools and calculators that will help you answer those questions. Also, for instance, you know, a lot of funds will have newsletters, financial advisors to help you get really clear on what your goals are and if you're on track, and give you some guidance on what you'll need to do if you need to actually boost your savings. There's lots of things that people can do, but what the research did find was that knowledge about retirement products is actually quite low. And in fact, only a third of retirees understood what these fantastic account-based pensions and lifetime income stream products can do for them. They have such fantastic Centrelink, longevity protection, tax benefits, and people don't understand. But yet, 75% of people who do understand these products are highly satisfied. So there is very much a need for funds to be able to reach people at the right time in the right place with relevant information and advice, so that they too can actually take advantage of everything that's available to them.
You talked as well about, the fact that we're living longer. Some people might live to 100. So what is the reality of retirement, or how is the reality of retirement really changing for us all?
Yeah, it actually is turning out that it's not like it used to be. People often thought that they would get to a point in their life and they would stop work and that they would never actually earn an income for their time and effort again. But what we are finding is that people are actually stopping work. They might go back to part-time work. They might stop work and go back to full-time work, do some contract work. There's plenty of things that people are doing to boost their income in retirement. But ultimately, what we're finding is that people thought that they would perhaps retire. I think the Australian Bureau of Statistics says that people retire, I think they'll retire at age 65, perhaps a little bit later for men. But the reality is that a lot of people are actually retiring a lot sooner. And that could be driven by the fact that they have ill health, or they have caring responsibilities, or they may have even been made lost their jobs. And so that again points to planning early for people to take into account the unexpected.